what's up, guys? Welcome back to Puck Nation, episode number 46. And this time I got it right, didn't I?
Yes, you
number
did,
46.
sir.
See? You see? Sorry, we've been away for what, a week now, right?
Week and a half,
A
I
week,
think.
week and a half.
Yeah.
I was gone on the road. Mike, you were gone on the road.
Yeah.
Yanni, you were busy getting into
lone
car
survivor.
accidents.
Yeah, lone survivor.
Yeah, you were getting into car accidents and smashing everything. So now we're into the Stanley Cup final. Where we're gonna discuss that tonight with our very special guest, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you guys are all good? You ready for this? Or we jump right into it, or what are we doing here?
Hey, man, that's what we do, right?
That's what we do. Let's go.
That's what we
We
do.
don't fuck around.
All right.
All right. So without further ado, we have another ex-NHLer who I hope to God he comes back.
Same here, man.
Yeah,
Me too.
you know.
I consider him alumni.
Yeah. Guys, please welcome Zach Fucale on. Man.
Let's go.
Zach.
Hey guys,
Zach.
Hey,
What's up?
what's up,
Zach,
buddy?
what's
You
up,
good?
bud?
good to be here. Good to be here.
You
Thanks
good?
for having
Good.
me on.
Hey, man, I love the cap, the SISU cap.
SISU, all the way.
Yes.
Yes,
Sisu
sir.
cap.
Living Sisu. Yeah,
Huh?
lots of work
That-
being put in there, and
We'll definitely
we were
talk
talking about
that.
this before. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were talking about this before, but we try to live that Sisu every day.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome, especially you, Mike, because you know it's personal, right?
Yeah, my significant other.
Your significant other is from Finland, so that means
Yeah.
a lot, and
Yeah.
that's awesome. I was saying before, I wish we had something like that here in Montreal.
Yeah.
That we can believe in and whatever, but we all,
Je m'en souviens.
you know, I don't know about the souvenir thing, but yeah. So what's up, Zach? What's new with Zach Fucale, man? What's going on?
Yeah, everything is good. I'm back home. It was a long season. I was away from my family for the first time in my career. I was away from my family all season. I came back for a little 10 days. There was the birth of our second son, my wife and I. So I came back for 10 days.
Congrats.
I was thank you so much. I was super lucky to get 10 days. I don't know if you've ever heard of a professional athlete getting 10 days
Never.
mid-season
That
to
doesn't
go
happen.
home.
Russia.
Doesn't happen.
But yeah,
happen.
no matter where, honestly,
Doesn't happen.
I don't think I've ever heard of any of my teammates or anybody I heard of getting
10
10
days?
days. So I was very, very lucky. So yeah, now I'm home. It feels good. My kids, my dog, my wife, everybody's here. Spending some good time, and
You're living it.
it's nice.
You're
You know,
living it.
now it's the off season, training hard, and good to be home.
And then you're back. And where's back? Where are you going back? Did you get any
I'm
calls?
going
any
back to
crack?
Tractor, which
You're going back
I had
to
a
K?
2-year contract, so I'm going back. Yeah,
So you're going back to the K?
Nice.
Hell of a good year, too, for you.
I loved it. It was a really good experience. You know, at first I had so many questions going into it. What's going to be like? You know, the lifestyle, the league. You know, also, you know, coming from the AHL, I was like, okay, like, what's the league going to be like? You know,
Obviously.
how am I going to fit in, right? You know, the style of play and everything. There's a little bit of that little anxiety before you get there, but turns out it went really well. I was very well surrounded. My goalie coach was amazing.
Quick adjustment?
Great teammates. Yeah. It was good. It went well. I think the pieces really fell in the right spot. And it was a really fun year, man. We were really close. We were really, really close.
That's great.
That's awesome.
You know, how does a kid who wins you won a World Junior, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You won a
U20.
couple of Spanglers. You won a Calder Cup, right? How does a kid that does all that not get a chance in the NHL? Explain that to me, please. I know you were drafted from Montreal. I get it.
I think
And
that's
I
the
get and you know
problem.
what? And everybody that I've asked the same question to says the same thing. Because I'm like, you're a kid, how we say in here in Montreal, because chez nous, right? So
Yeah,
you get drafted
the
by the
classic
Habs.
term here.
Yeah, exactly. You should be all happy and proud, whatever. But then the chance doesn't come, and I don't understand that. Like, can you please explain that to me? How does a kid like
It's,
you that's won everything end up in the
it's-
K? It makes no sense.
It's a great question. I think, you know, there's so many factors to it. There's so much that happened while I was with
Okay.
the Canadians. I moved on to different organizations. There's so many things that are factors, man. Like timing's a factor. My performance is a factor. How it was, you know, my maturity
But
level
Zach,
at the time.
there's
you know,
32
all
teams
types
in the
of
league.
things.
There's
I get
32
it.
teams, dude.
I understand, and maybe you know, maybe I did get my shot, you know, and maybe, you know, in Washington they did throw me
4
the ball
games?
at some point. Yeah, well, you know, it's the big
I don't think
leagues,
that's
man.
fair,
And
man.
I think you're going to get
sometimes
another
it's
shot.
quick. Sometimes it goes fast. Sometimes it goes click of the fingers and it's gone. So
Well, look,
I mean,
we have-
am I bitter about it all? No, there
can't
was
be bitter.
sometimes there was
You can't be
sometimes
bitter.
in my career where I did feel a little bit of bitterness, you know, of this, that, why this, why that, why me,
Yeah.
you know, you have that feeling. But I get over those things, and I got over it. I moved on, and I'm in a good spot. I like where I'm
And you're
at
still
right
making
now.
a living
If-
playing hockey.
Precisely. And so
Yeah.
if one day I get the chance to come back, we'll see what happens.
Well, that was my next question. Is the
I'm still
goal to come
29.
back?
We still got some time. So I don't know. We'll see what
Exactly.
happens.
It's rare. It's rare that the guests are younger than me. I'm usually the young one here, but it happens.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
yeah,
look,
we'll
I
see
mean, I
what
guess-
happens. Honestly,
Yeah, I think you have a bright future.
Yeah, I think you still got a chance, man. I mean, you kind of got drafted by a team that had somebody in the nets that was a little bit hard to replace. You know what I mean?
yeah. But
So-
Mike, I mean, if you look at the time I got drafted, you look at every club. You look at Nashville had Peck Arena. You look at New York, they had
Fleury,
Lundqvist.
everybody,
You look at,
yeah.
You look at Pittsburgh, they had a Fleury at the time. You look around the league, everybody had their guy. It's
Yeah.
like that now.
Yeah.
The guys they're gonna get drafted in a couple of weeks. I think the draft, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
28th. Yeah.
So
weeks, 28.
couple of weeks, everybody's got their guy basically. Maybe nowadays it's a little bit more open. There's a little bit more of a chair going around where guys are starting to need to get established. But when I got drafted, there was a lot of veterans, and so
Yeah.
we say that about Montreal, but it was the same a bit everywhere. So
No,
it's not a factor. When you get drafted, it can't be a factor of there's Carey Price or there's Pecorino, there's Henry Lundqvist. Like you have to, if you want to make it to the big leagues, you got to go through that. For example,
Yeah.
I'll give you an
I
example.
love your mindset, man.
No,
You
but
know
it's not
what?
really. It's not about me. It's
No,
literally the
but
reality.
It's the
It's
way
the
of
reality.
seeing it.
If Cam Talbot, he was behind Henry Lundqvist, and he made himself a career.
Yeah.
Like
No, there's a few.
Jeremy
yeah, listen.
Jeremy Swayman was behind a guy that
Swayman,
had
yeah,
just
there's so
signed
many.
a contract
Look
for
at the- what's
5
his name,
times
man?
5 or something, and
Yeah,
now
yeah,
he's establishing himself. So you have to, and so yeah, my chance. I might have had my chance, and maybe I can't pinpoint it. We'll see.
Okay, but that's one thing, Zach. You're right. Okay, you're right. Everybody's got their guy, and of course, like what do we say? There's only 32 of these guys in the world, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
or whatever, 64 because they got 2 each. But I went to school. You see,
Yeah, yeah.
64 is pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
But the thing is, that's one thing. But getting a chance, can you make me suck before you cut me? You know what I mean? Like, no, you understand what
That's
I'm
true.
saying?
No, that's fair. That's fair. That's a fair point. A lot of people ask me about my time in Montreal. I say, did you feel the pressure? Was it because you felt pressure? I said, well, to be honest with you,
you didn't get a chance to feel pressure.
did I feel pressure? No, I didn't have any pressure. I lived my dream, and I was part of the
Yeah,
Canadians.
exactly.
I backed up actual real games with the club.
Yeah, exactly.
I was there. I was part of it all. I did all the training camps. I played some games in the preseason. I backed up real games, and so did I live my dream? Yeah, I did. Did I play? Did I get
Incredible.
to feel that pressure? No, I never really felt pressure because
Yeah, so you can't even answer
was-
that correctly. Exactly.
exactly. I was actually too busy being so excited to be part of Montreal Canadiens that
Yeah, no shit.
I didn't feel any
Yeah.
pressure, to be honest.
That's awesome.
If I had played 20, 30 games, maybe a slump, maybe it's different. Now maybe you start feeling that thing. But
See,
I
that's
can't
what I
even
mean.
tell you how that would feel. I never had that chance in Montreal.
See, that's exactly what I mean. At least give the kid a chance to like fail before you just cut him. I mean, look what's happening with
That's fair.
in Edmonton
Yeah,
with
Skinner.
Skinner and all that. Oh, but he's this that. And now look, he took him to the cup. They're there.
There you go.
Right. You understand? So I don't know, man. I just find with all the. I mean, look at all the hardware, man. The World Junior, the Calder, the 2 Spanglers. Give the kid a chance, man. You know what I mean? It's not fair. And I don't know if it's, what have you done for me lately or who do you know or whatever, because, that's how it works in life. I get it. I'm not stupid. It just, I don't know. I just find that's a little bit unfair, especially from a kid from home.
The timing aspect is something,
Yeah.
This is a conversation that can go on for a really long time.
Yeah.
With
No, I
all
understand.
types of what if.
Yeah,
Oh,
And
for
I
sure.
lived
Yeah.
that life for the last 7 years, of my life.
Yeah, I know, because we
What
talked
if
to your
this
buddy
happens?
Michael.
What if this happens?
Yeah, we talked to
and
Michael. He
he's
said
a
the same
great
thing.
example.
Yeah, he goes, I was supposed to be the guy, then Zach, then Charlie, then then everybody, then your mother and your sister. Yeah, everybody's supposed to be the guy.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
if you get a chance, it's one thing.
Look,
you know what I mean? Like,
Chuck is doing pretty well for himself now in Washington.
in Washington,
And,
yeah.
He is.
He's a great guy, and I got to play with him again for a second time.
Yeah.
in,
That's
in
awesome.
Washington.
Yeah.
It was awesome guy, and we're all happy for his success. He's a great goalie, and so
Awesome.
I seen
Yeah.
that coming a mile away. Once I
So
saw
Zach,
that
is the
coming a mile away.
That's great. Is the main goal to get back? Is that your thing, or are you good with in the K, or like
I'll be
go to
straight with
Italy,
you.
go to whatever? and play? Yeah.
I'll be straight with you. My main goal is not to come back in the NHL. Like, I don't wake up in the morning and say, like, I have to 100% come
See?
back and play in
Michael
the
said
NHL.
the same thing.
So no, I'm going to tell you straight.
That's
No.
great.
If it happens, if
You're
the
good with it.
opportunity
That's
gets
awesome.
there, if I have a contract, something, a good situation for my family, everything like that, yeah, okay. If it makes sense,
yeah, why not?
great.
Yeah, of course.
And
Yeah.
most likely, if you get an NHL contract with an NHL kind of like let's say you get an NHL one way,
Yeah.
it's very hard to find a better option than that, So
Yeah, of course.
we'll see if those things come. It depends on my performance this season. Depends on all types of it. Probably depends on the situation of teams' depth charts. Yes.
Of course. Yeah,
I can't predict these things. And younger, I would have said yes, 100%. But
yeah.
now with a
You got a
little
family
experience,
now.
I have
Yeah,
I have options. Like I like playing in the KHL right now. Is that a long-term option for me? Maybe, maybe not. Am I going to go play in another league in Europe? I love playing in Europe. It's
Yeah, no
fun,
kidding.
and it's possibly a great experience not only for me but for my wife, for my kids.
Yeah, the kids to grow up. Yeah, of course.
So we'll see how that plays out. And I don't got a crystal ball. I wish I did.
No, of
But
course, of course,
if
of course.
I
if
think
the
all of us
opportunity
do.
presents itself to go back to the NHL, for
Why not?
sure,
Yeah.
for sure I would entertain that. It's been
How
everybody's
good is
dream.
that league, Zach? How good is the KHL?
The KHL it's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed playing there. Like we're treated really well. As an import, I played a lot of games. I played almost 50 games. There's barely any back-to-backs throughout the season, so it's 68
Really?
games instead of 82. And I think there were 2 back-to-backs all season.
Oh, well, yeah,
So for the
68,
body,
yeah.
it's great, and we
good,
fly
yeah.
everywhere just like in the NHL. We eat just like the NHL. The travel like
Good.
that, and we're treated really well. So
That's great.
I mean, I can't find something to tell you other than I didn't really understand anything in the meetings. I didn't get much in the
yeah.
meetings. But I
Well,
didn't
same thing
do
when
many
they
of
come
those.
here, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Cool.
they learn. The guys learn, and I learned a little bit to kind of follow along what's going
that's
on. But
great.
it was good that my goalie coach he spoke 100% English, so it was good that for me and him, that's what mattered. I didn't really have to
That's
deal with the
huge.
head coach and everything.
Right.
That's great.
I want to. So now talking about the K, you're one guy who can actually speak to it. Is Michkov for real?
Okay, so funny story about Michkov. His first 2 goals of the season, this past
No,
season.
shut
were
up.
against
They
me.
weren't on you. No, come on.
Yeah,
Come
so,
on.
So
You
it
serious?
was actually one of my so-so games, if I'm gonna be honest. So one of my so-so games, he scored a goal. It was actually a pretty lucky bounce where the puck just hit the window in the back and it just bounced to my right eye. I just couldn't get there. And then the last goal, it happened with maybe 2 minutes left in the game. My memory serves me well. It was a 4-4 game or 3-3 game. 3-3 game, I think. Yeah, 3-3 game or 4-4 game. And he scored with a perfect shot, screenshot. It got me. It was from pretty far, actually. And he scored with maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes left in the game, and he won it just like that. And so, yeah, that was his first 2 goals of the season.
Wow. He's the real deal. He's the real deal. This kid.
He's a really good player, and you can tell
Yeah.
he's got a factor. He's got
like
a factor in his game.
That Panarin kind of guy. That's what they're comparing him to.
I mean,
right?
I don't know how I can compare him, but he does have a factor. You could tell when he's got the puck, he's thinking
Things happen.
he's thinking a score. Like
Yeah.
I noticed
Like
that.
Ovi.
Okay.
He's thinking when I got the puck, I'm making something to score, and I saw that in only one game.
Yeah.
I could tell.
That's usually what gets you to the dance, right?
That's it.
Look at
Most
Ovi.
likely.
Ovi says it all the time. Ovi
If you
says it
succeed,
every interview. Yeah. Ovi says it every interview. I want to score.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
score. I don't care who, what, where,
Well,
when.
I mean, he played in Washington, right?
Yeah, well, I'm
He-
sure you've
you
seen it.
must have seen Ovi.
So and
Yeah, I
every
did.
interview he gives, he says the same thing. I want the puck. I want to go score.
That's it.
And when you have that
That's,
mentality, he's right. You see it. You spot it right away. You can tell.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell, man. Little question for you. These goalie rules, because I've had this conversation with a couple of guys on the show. Not necessarily all the goalies, but with players too. Okay, I'm old school. Like I said, I'm 55 years old. In my day, you come out of your crease, you're game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now with all this changing and you can't go. It's almost like they're quarterbacks. Where do you think it's too much
Do I think it's too many rules?
coming from a goalie?
You mean
Do you think it's too much?
Contact on goalies? You mean?
Yeah, not just. I don't mean like go there and body check the guy, but I mean, like the interference and the no goal. Why? Because he could have got there or whatever. What do you mean could have? Coulda, woulda, shoulda. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
they said they want scoring in the league, and then
I see what
like-
you mean. You want to get more goals. I see what you mean, but you got to be careful because if you have to have a limit, because if you don't, now you're opening so much interference. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, of
it's
course.
pretty easy to interfere with a guy that weighs more on the ice, that has less mobility, for example,
course,
skating
of course.
wise. Like, if you hit my pad, like, it's very unlikely I'll be able to move.
Yeah.
And so that's why they need a limit, because if you say, oh no, if you can touch the goalie a little bit, you won't have many goalies anymore, just because you won't be able to do your job. No, I'm just saying you have to
You're
be
right.
careful when you say, yeah, it might be too much, but at the end of the
You're
day,
right.
if you leave, it's like
Where do you
giving,
draw the line, right?
You
Where
give
do you draw the
a
line?
kid
Yeah.
a piece of chocolate, has no chance. He's gonna want the whole
The
bar.
whole thing. You're right. You're
Right.
right. You're right.
I get that.
So it's a little
100%.
bit like that.
I
You know?
just-
if you let a little contact with the goalie, oof.
I'm just talking
wait
about-
until you see the guys that will go over the edge, and then
Yes,
after that,
because
the
there's
goalies won't be able
guys.
to do anything.
You're
after.
right. You're right. Because there's guys that will go over the edge and they will take advantage of that. My point is, the little flaky ones. You know what I mean? Like, oh well, his shirt touches. I'm like, come on, man, come on. Like,
You know, in a sense, I get what you're saying, because there were some goals that, was it really interference? But the rule is now contact
Or-
is contact, no matter what. I get it. I get it.
Or,
it's,
Zach-
it is very ambiguous. Like, I
How
get it.
about consistency? If you're gonna make the call, make it consistent. You know what I'm saying? Because there's days like I'm talking. The three of us, we watch
You
a
know
lot
what's
of hockey.
funny, Mimo? Like, think about it. Like, the league really believes that they're being consistent with it.
I know. That's the
So,
sad part.
It's your
That's
perspective.
the sad part.
You're
right.
I'm not criticizing the league. I'm
No,
just saying
you're
it's your
absolutely right.
perspective. They're not consistent, but what if they are? And it's just
Everyone
you
but
as
them.
a fan. It's just you as a fan saying, "Oh, it's inconsistent."
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
I
But-
think it's been pretty consistent. Like, I think it's been pretty consistent.
Look, man, it seems to me from all the. I mean, I watch the Hockey
A
Night
goalie's
Canada and all the guys.
perspective is different.
Yeah, well, yeah. What I'm saying is, even the commentators and everybody is saying, look, you can't have this call. What was it, Mike? We were talking about it this year.
Yeah.
The Boston series.
Yeah.
Right? They against the Florida thing.
Oh, yeah, the whole thing with
There was a
Bennett.
makeup call.
The
Remember with the
Bennett,
Bennett?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And then the game
Yeah,
after,
yeah.
you know damn well that was a makeup call. Because they both, in my opinion, should not have counted. The Bennett cross-check, and then I forget who it was, whatever.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know, man. It's like either, what do I always say? There's either
on this
rules for
law-
everybody or no rules for nobody. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion.
I think the rules are fair right now, but I think as a fan, and when I watch the NHL now as a fan, we have to realize how fast the game is going.
Yes.
And,
Oh my
and
God.
How split-second decisions in the moment have to be made, and to be a ref, you have to be decisive, and sometimes you're gonna miss. You're gonna honestly
Zach,
be wrong.
There's
And
four.
we have to see that.
There's 4 plus there's 12 cameras.
But hey, Mimo, you want to know something though? In the KHL,
Yeah.
everything was basically reviewable.
Everything. Every call.
And I saw full easy calls being overturned because they just went to take a look at it.
Really?
It was really cool. I'll be
Wow,
honest.
that's interesting.
It
Yeah,
was
that's
cool. For
interesting.
example, like there was a high stick and it affected the play. Boom, and they reviewed it, and
Right.
and it was boom, and the puck out of play, for example, the delay game. They reviewed it. No, it wasn't.
really?
For example, or there was a high stick on someone, and it turned out that it was his own guy, but they reviewed it for 10 minutes.
So they
and
took it
They
back,
they took it back, and so it was interesting. And maybe it delayed the game a little bit, but you know what though? All of us players, we were like, okay, well at least they got the right call.
Okay, so here's another question for you, Zach. Does it have to be right at all times? You follow what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like,
I'll give you a scenario.
Does it always
I'll
have
give
to
you
be right?
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
I'll give
go
you a
ahead.
scenario.
Yeah.
If it's not right in the first game of the season, does it bother you?
No.
See,
Okay,
to
but
me,
if it's not right, Game 7 Stanley Cup, does it bother you?
see, to me, I agree with him. To me, it does.
So-
because I'm a
it
big
it
proponent
matters.
in that.
So
To
it
me,
matters
does.
Game 1 as much as it matters in Game 7.
Yeah.
So
No, but
you
my-
have to try and get it right every time.
At
in
all
my
times.
opinion,
Yeah, no, I
Because then
totally agree.
you open the door for some crazy scenarios, and then
But aren't you taking
but we can't do
a bit
anything
away from the
about
refs? Aren't you getting that what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? The human aspect of it.
Well, yeah. There's no.
Then
such thing
why
as
are they on the
perfection.
ice? The one that just have a guy sitting
Yeah,
down
but the
eating
flow
hot
of the
dogs.
game. But the flow of the game, you know, like the
Yeah.
decisions still are made. Like the game is still won't be perfect.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
But
It'll
the calls
never
that
be
are
perfect.
made could be overturned to be perfect. You know, like for example, you don't have to call it, but let's say you do and you're wrong, then we can take it away. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Because look, I understand it's all about the Benjamins, right? I mean, you could cost somebody millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
get
for
something
sure.
wrong,
And look,
you
my
know-
perspective might be completely wrong.
No, no.
I reserve
why
the
I'm
right to look stupid right now, but
no,
I just,
no, not at all.
I feel like
that's why I'm asking.
I feel like it's so difficult to have an opinion either way on this particular topic, because you're gonna have people that are gonna be like, no, the game is fluid and you gotta let stuff go. But then at some point you get to the Stanley Cup Finals and it's like, oh, you let stuff go, and then at the end everybody will be like, well, it wasn't fair, it wasn't right, it wasn't this, it wasn't that.
You're absolutely right. Because when I was a kid,
So then
that-
you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. The same
That's
thing with
right.
the goalie interference. You put no contact, everybody is not happy, it's not consistent. And then
Or-
you put too much contact, then you have no more goalies that ever
everybody
wants to
freaks
play ever again.
Exactly.
You know, I'm
Absolutely.
exaggerating.
No,
but you see
no.
my
You're
point.
right. You're
The
right.
reality is the NHL is the biggest league.
Absolutely.
And to get to the NHL as a referee, you need to be the best of the best.
Of course.
So, I mean, can you challenge a few calls? Yes, you can. But I mean, I think these guys are the best at what they do, and that's why they're there, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's just like I said.
Yeah, I agree.
Sometimes I wonder. I'm like, really, man? Did you really have to,
Yeah.
And then you 5-6 minutes to get the call. I'm like,
But you know
come
what, Mimo?
on,
If you were the ref, you probably would miss something. And
hey, listen, I understand.
That's what it is,
Yeah,
right?
you know what? I've played not their level. I'm just saying, I've never been one of the guys that blames the referee.
Yeah.
You know what? Because at the end of the year, it all evens out. That's just my opinion. You're
I
gonna get
like
a
that.
call.
I
You're gonna
like
get a
that.
call. You're not gonna get a call. Just shut the fuck up and go
Yeah,
play. Just
that's
go
it.
play.
Listen, Mimo, I'm gonna share a little something about a coach.
Yeah.
I love this coach, Dominique Ducharme. Okay.
Yes.
And he taught this concept when I played in junior in Halifax, and it stayed with me my whole career,
Forever.
and I believe it to this day. And believe it or not, I had a conversation about that exact concept with my dad about 45 minutes ago. Okay.
Nice.
He always I'm not even joking. I was
Yeah,
on the
that's
phone with
cool.
him because we were talking about the Hershey Bears and what's going on in their series,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about, and this is what Dom would say. He would say the game is fair, and he goes, some nights you're going to win and you won't deserve to win, and
Absolutely.
some nights you're going to lose and you don't deserve to lose. Some
right.
calls you're going to get, some calls you're not going to get,
You're
but
not gonna
you're
get.
sure, you're damn sure that whatever work you put in and your level of honesty in your work,
That stays the
at
same.
the end of the year, you're going to end up where you're supposed to end up.
Yeah.
That's right.
No because of
That's right.
the integrity of like how
That's
the
it.
game works. You know, he would always say the game is fair. The game
That's
is fair, and
right.
it's always stuck with me. And what you just said is true, and it's the same with calls in the end. Because if you like work to a point that you're dominating a club, for example, and you got a couple bad calls behind you, like before, you might get those things because of how you're making the game flow. You know what I mean?
Of course, the determination
Anyway.
is there. You get it. Absolutely. Of course.
And it's tough to explain in a sense, but I think you guys get like
No, I get it, man. It's
What I
not
mean.
tough at all. Yeah, you're making
100%.
perfect sense. I get it.
No, for sure.
Like, stop with the bitching and just look, man.
Just play.
Settle down. And look, I'm a little hot-headed Italian when I used to play. Believe me, okay. But at the end of the day, but it's true. But at the end of the day, it's like, guys, relax, man. Relax, because it
Yeah.
all evens out. If you're supposed to
It
win, you're
does.
gonna win. So work hard. Let's get back there. Let's score another goal or whatever. Let's kill this penalty.
And
Whatever.
I think,
it evens
I think,
out, man.
I think that this concept you're talking about of like it's part of the things you really don't control. Like the refs, you don't really control their decisions at all. So
course not, yeah.
I think that's also part of winning the game. If you can overcome those things, you know, the team that will overcome those things faster and actually
It's a winning
work,
team.
Right.
That's, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Let it roll off
imagine-
your back. Let's go. Let's go.
The-
Exactly.
The teams I've been a part of that like really bitch the most, usually we don't have as much success, you know, because we're focused on that instead of
That's right.
okay, you
That's
know
right.
what? Okay, maybe that happened. Okay, everybody got that out of their system.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
let's.
Yeah,
You know
because
what
the
I mean?
distraction is bigger than what's going on right now.
Right.
And
So
you don't win,
I
man.
also
You don't
think,
win.
I
You don't
also
win like
think
that.
that's part of winning, of dealing with stuff you don't control, and calls
Obviously.
are part of that. You know, like they're part of
Absolutely.
it. You'll never be able to control
Absolutely.
the decisions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I wanted to ask you something, Zach, because you mentioned about your goalie coaches in Russia and how they speak
Yeah.
English, and that was good and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to ask you about your experience with goalie coaches especially even here, like I'm sure you worked with Stefan Wade at the time, I would imagine.
I did, yeah.
And I just wanted to know, like, do you find that like that aspect and like their input, do you find like the different approaches, you're able to kind of make a hybrid of those approaches, or certain guys know it better than others, and how do you think that dynamic works with a good goalie coach versus a not so good goalie
well,
coach?
I mean, I'm not at that level. I think all the goalie coaches they have a level.
Yeah.
They're at a level that they're going to be able to correct you or bring you to a place. Okay, not everyone is capable of doing that, even at the NHL level. Like seriously, but from my experience, like the chemistry is huge. You know, if you have good chem with your goalie coach, like that brings you to another level even before you even work anything on the ice. You know,
That's
like
true.
if you're able to go out to dinner with your goalie coach and just, you know, shoot the shit and talk about life and whatever, already you're at the level like Scott Murray, Alex Westland, Juha Lehtala and Hershey and Washington organization I work with. Like those guys were just amazing people and the chemistry was good. So for me, it was easy to work with them. And that's when I absorbed the most. That's when you work the best. You know, with Peter Scrabble in Tractor, I have unbelievable chemistry with him. One of the reasons is we were both imports. Both of us, it was our first year in the KHL. All these factors played into like, you know, like it's you and me and my partner,
Right.
you, me, and Milo. It's just us, you know,
Yeah.
like it's you, me, and Milo, and we're a team, and let's make this work. And so that's why, anyway. But then you mentioned Stefan Waite and everything. Like he's a great goalie coach. He's had a lot of success in the league. He had a lot of experience, but I didn't really have a ton of time to work with him. You know, if I'm being totally honest, you know, I was there for 3 years, and whenever I was in the NHL, did he put all the time for me? No, like he was focused on Kerry. He was focused
Carey,
on
of course.
on the guys that was starting. You know, I didn't start, so was he really focused on me? Probably not. You know, like
Right.
Fair enough.
did I
Makes
did I
sense.
have all this time to work with Stefan Waite? Not really. You know, not
You
really.
see?
Training camps go fast. You know, there's a lot of goalies. There's 6 goalies at a time. You're 3 per group. It goes fast. Scrimmage, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, of course.
I was there for 3 years? Okay. Did I have all the time to work with Stefan Waite? Not really. And I think he would admit the same thing. So the guys I did work with a lot were the guys in the AHL. And I got along with a lot of guys, and some were we were a good relationship, but you know, nothing really came out of it. So yeah, that's what I have to say about goalie coaches. It's a lot about chemistry. It's a lot about philosophies. If your philosophies match too, you know, you can go with the goalie coach, you get along great. But when we talk about hockey, it's like, I don't think the same way as you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when we
Right,
talk about goaltending specifically, which is even more specific, you know, it doesn't gel. It's going to be hard. You know, if you love math, but you hate the person teaching you math,
You're not gonna love anything.
you're not really going to
Exactly.
register it.
It's
you
a
know,
very good example.
Right.
it's the
That's
same
absolutely.
thing. It's like
that's perfect. That's
it-
perfect
the person,
example.
if you don't believe what's being taught to you, if you don't really believe
Then
it,
forget it. Forget
it's
it.
tough. I'm telling you, especially at a level where you're in the pros.
Been there, done
Especially
that.
in the
Yeah,
pros where split-second decisions, you know, the game is so fast, guys. Even from the East Coast
Yeah.
all the way up, it's so fast that
Yeah.
if you're not believing in what you're doing, man, like
Forget it.
it's gonna be
Forget it.
tough to have long-term success. Everybody can have a good game or two, you know.
Of course.
Long-term, you know, it's tough.
Speaking of good game, you guys played in Halifax. You were with Nathan McKinnon, Jonathan Drouin, and a bunch of other skilled players.
Many others, yeah, many others. Those are the first two you say, but
How
there
was
were
that?
so many.
How was it playing in
It,
Halifax?
it was to this day one of the best experiences for sure,
Wow.
hands down.
That's great.
Halifax is such a great place to live too.
I just
Yeah.
came back from
Such
there.
great
yeah.
people, yeah,
just come
and
back.
for in my oh you were just there.
I was just there
Both
2
of
weeks
them.
ago.
I
I
was
played in a
too.
band, right? So I was touring there, and I was actually I played there. Yeah.
Oh, and
That's
the
awesome.
music, like the
Yeah.
town is great for that too.
Oh, they
Argyle
love
and
it.
everything, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
amazing. You know, a lower
Yeah.
deck. Did you play the lower deck?
No, we actually played a big festival. It was an outdoor festival that we played. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. I love
That's
that.
cool,
And so
yeah.
for me, when I talk about Halifax, it's tough to say anything bad at all because
it's
everything
beautiful, man.
from
You
the
kidding?
people, the place, you know,
Yeah,
my
it's all
my
chill.
billet family where
Everybody's
I
chill.
was, it was amazing. I talk to them
Yeah.
to this day. Every week I'm on the phone with them.
That's amazing.
So, and I'm 29 years old. You know, it's 10 years. We won the cup more than
Yeah,
10
we're-
years ago,
Yeah, you were a kid, man.
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
nuts. It's nuts to me. You
It
know,
flies
It
by,
happens
huh?
like that, my
It's
friend.
nuts.
Like
It's
that. It
nuts.
just
Flies
happens
by.
like that. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
bananas. But at the end of the day, Halifax was unreal. We had a
That's great. Those you don't forget
historic
those.
team. We had
A
a
championship's a
historical
championship.
team.
Yeah.
And
Big time.
not only did we win the championship, but we were just we were just historical in terms of how we played this season. It was awesome.
Right.
You still talk to any of these guys?
Frequently, the
Really?
guys that are from Montreal, obviously we cross paths once in a while, whenever we can, whenever something on social media pops up, for sure we always, I communicate.
For
I
sure.
think you guys know
For sure.
I'm a social guy, so whenever it pops up,
Really? I would never
I
tell.
like, I like to have a good conversation,
That's great, man. That's great.
Well,
That's great.
Jonathan and Nathan are reunited now.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and John's having one hell of a
Hey, man, tell him to
resurgence.
put in a word for you.
Yeah, man. Georgiev could use the help.
Georgia can use the help, man. Say, listen, I know,
You
a kid,
know, I might just give Joe a call or
Hey,
Nate.
give
I
Joe a
don't
call,
know.
man.
I think it's a
Not
good
sure.
idea.
I'm
Guys,
not sure. We'll see.
You know,
Would love to see it.
Zach, we were talking about your preparation.
That would
before
be
with the
pretty
goalie
epic.
coaches.
I'm gonna be
It
honest.
would.
The reunion.
You were talking about your preparation and whatever, and you see all kinds of these goalies doing all kinds of things. Were you ever one of these guys that watch videos and who am I playing tonight? Let's say, for example, like you said before, Michkov. Are you one of these guys that watches the video of the guy that I'm playing against and see what he does, what he doesn't do?
In the playoffs, I get really deep on those things.
You all do, or you do? Like
I
does
don't
the
know.
team?
I think it's a preference.
Or is it
thing.
both?
I think the players and the coaching staff for the players' side is very different to how goalies operate. Like,
Yes.
there is a disconnect, and I think you need to have one because at some point the goalie just needs to focus on certain things that are not relevant at all to anyone
That's
else.
right.
So-
That's right. And vice versa.
so-
yeah, absolutely.
and vice versa. So like, I don't give
Yeah,
a shit about
yeah.
our forecheck. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter.
It doesn't
You
do-
know, like,
you're not forechecking. What the fuck you care?
just do it
Exactly.
well.
I get it.
Just do it well.
Yeah. Don't make them come here. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So for me,
Makes sense.
in the playoffs, I like to dive deep on tendencies and those tendencies tend to come back, and in a high pressure situations, most players will come back to the things they love the most. I have this thing I picked up on over the years. I think this is my theory. I might be really wrong, but I like to sometimes when I'm not playing or whatever, I like to watch the first shot that a guy takes on an empty net on the warm up when they first get on the ice, because that's usually their favorite shot.
That's their
And
go-to.
Yeah, it's usually their favorite shot. And once you see enough players a few times throughout the season that you play them in the playoffs, you can remember you kind of downloaded those things, And so that's just a little detail. But for me, I like to get deeper in the playoffs. But in the season, it's so many games. It's so much. If you do it every night, I feel like you're wasting a lot of energy because you won't have necessarily the time in a game to analyze those things. If you take the time to analyze those things, you're a little bit late already, in my opinion. So it's a more of a general overview of what you're about to expect. Maybe some tendencies as a team, maybe they work more behind the net or on the power play. The power play is where you'll see the most.
Of course. Because they're set plays.
Things that are exactly that repeat themselves, like they like to use the bumper more, or they're
exactly.
using a bang bang play or a one timer across, or they're looking for this specific guy. Don't get too focused on this guy because in the end they want it to this guy. So personally, I do a little bit of it, but I also saw that if I do too much, it hinders my performance. If I try and analyze too much, it really hinders my performance. So there's that little balance you got to keep throughout the whole season.
That's great. So let's get off of this and I'm going to ask you. You've been watching? What's going on now?
I have my
So what are you
my
thinking?
good friend and training partner for the last, I'm gonna say 10 years, probably more. Okay, for the last 10 years, Vinny Desharnais with the Oilers.
Really?
Nice.
We've been
He was
like
we've
an
been
awesome
training
guy.
partners for years.
Is that
he
right?
was back, and
He was back in
we're
last
watching.
night. Yeah.
I think he played well. He's such a good
did.
PK guy. He's such a good player. Like,
Blocks so many
heart and
shots. That
soul.
kid.
He's a heart and soul guy.
He's
He'll
like
give
another
anything for
goalie
the
out
team.
there. He's like
It's
another goalie
unbelievable.
out there. He
He's
blocks
like-
everything, or at least he
he's
tries to.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He's a heart and soul guy. Great stick on the ice and PK. So that's
Yeah.
why I love it.
Yeah. Well, no kidding.
So I'm rooting for him.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
I think the next game will be crucial for Edmonton.
Obviously,
Taking
You
one
can't
at
go down
home.
3-0.
I think it gives you a little click, and then anything can happen. So
Hey,
we'll
look,
see
man,
what
the
happens.
energy. I was there last year, right, when they were in the playoffs. Remember? And the energy in that building it's not normal. It's not. I mean, Montreal's good.
Is it
Dude.
electric there?
It's mental. It's like they're not normal. They're not. I was gonna tell you that because goalies, they're all a bit quirky. I said this to Michael. I said, Michael,
that
what
right?
makes you wake up in the morning when you're a kid? You know, I want to go stop something coming at me at 100 miles an hour.
I
What
have
the-
this conversation all the time. It's true.
Like what the hell?
pretty weird.
It is. You're not normal, you guys.
Yeah,
You're not normal.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
you're a
why
little-
why do you take shots to the face? You know, why would I want to do that?
that's exact. Look, we talked to Michael about the slap shot he took from Shea Weber to the face. Doesn't he show me a scar that he still has under
Yeah.
his eye? He's like, look,
been-
like what? What is that? Because that's the scar it left me.
So he
why
has
would
a
you
Shea
do
Weber
that to
story.
yourself?
He has a Shea Weber story. I also have a Shea Weber story.
No,
Oh,
he cracked
no,
you
both
too.
of you?
He cracked
Well, I
you
think
too.
he got me over here, but the funny part, I don't know about McNiven's. Maybe it's the same as me, but when I was
It
called
broke
up
his
once,
mask.
oh yeah,
He said it broke his mask, man.
yeah, oh yeah. I think PK got me once in the head,
Ah.
but that's a hard shot.
Yeah.
But anyway, that one on Shea Weber was a morning skate, and I think we're pretty much done. And I feel like the morning skate's done. You feel the energy is kind of done, and I'm not playing that night, so I know I'm gonna maybe take a couple drills with
Yeah.
the guys that aren't playing. And it turns out one of the coaches comes to me, goes, "Hey Zach, like 5-on-3, go over there. They need you for 5-on-3." So I'm like, 5-on-3. Like, yeah.
You're gonna
I'm
start
like,
smelling
all
like
right.
rubber.
So I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
here we go. 5-on-3
Oh,
and morning
man.
skate. And yeah, maybe 6 seconds
drilled
into
you.
this little drill, he got a one-timer from, it was below the top of the circle. Like it was tight. It was pretty tight. And he got me in the shoulder. I felt it for a while. A
So-
couple
Yeah.
You know what?
couple-
Shit.
Michael
man.
was saying
A
the
good
same
week.
thing.
Yeah,
He goes, it's like
a
as
good
if
week after.
he was saying it's as if like he came in for a shootout goal and decided to go slap her on me.
Yeah,
Dude, he showed us a scar
it happens,
under
man.
his face.
It's part of the
Under
game.
his eye.
We signed up for this shit. It's all
Exactly.
You
good.
guys,
It's no
man.
problem.
You guys got good stories about
Yeah,
it though,
yeah.
so it's all good.
Oh, it's
So-
funny. That's
so-
just
so-
one of them.
So you're obviously rooting for the Oilers to take it.
I would like my buddy to fulfill
Yeah.
it and go all the way. That's
It's
for
a
sure.
dream. Yeah, because it looks like they're in for a tough little. Well, Mike's a big Oilers fan. He
Yeah.
always has been. I've known Mike his whole life. He's been an Oiler fan since
Hey,
since the
we'll
Gretzky
see.
days.
You know,
what I mean?
they're still in it. They're still in it. You know?
Listen,
I mean, you know,
I
I'm-
told you yesterday.
Yeah.
You're not done till you lose a game at home.
No, I
okay?
understand
Because if
that.
they win the 2 now in Edmonton, dude, it's the
High
best.
game.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Fine.
2 out of 3.
Look, I'm younger than Mimo, right? Like I kind of came up when Gretzky was there. I was a little kid,
You were lucky.
but I was a super fan back then, and all through I was a fan during the Ryan Smith years.
Yeah, no
I was a fan during all those years. I was like an Edmonton fan, and so I know they had their chance with the Pronger team when they went to
Yeah.
the final that one
Yeah.
year. But this
With Ryan Smith.
it's about time. The way I see it, if a Canadian team is going to bring the cup back, and I know you're a Maple Leaf fan, so sorry.
Mike,
to
let's not even go there, please. Come on, I'm having
But
such a nice night.
I
Leave
know.
me alone.
but
Don't fuck the
Connor
Leafs.
McDavid should be the guy to do it. It's just the way I see it.
I love him.
I mean,
Montreal would be nice
it's
too.
kind of
but-
Montreal would be nice, but
I think it's written in the stars. It's gonna happen. You know, like it's
Yeah.
gonna happen. It's a matter of time.
Yeah, it's a
I
matter of
believe
time.
it.
That's what I said too.
It's a matter of time before a guy like that goes all the way. In today's NHL, can one guy do it? No.
no,
That's why it's a
I
team
don't
game,
think so.
guys.
exactly.
Well, it is a team game, but back then
course.
you had one or two guys that changed everything.
But there's,
We'll see. I think he has the factor to change a team. To go all the way. So we'll see what happens.
I just think that they met a team that's mean.
Mike, they're
Fast.
being goalied is what. Look, we have a goalie on.
yes, they're-
They're being goalied.
I know.
Bobrovsky's playing like
I
a
know.
fucking madman.
They're
Unbelievable.
vicious. They're
It's
vicious.
crazy.
He's unbelievable. Bobrovsky
And they
is-
laughed at him all those years ago. Remember they laughed at him?
Yeah.
$10 million. Oh, you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. He brought you
Yeah,
2 cups
he's,
in a row,
he's,
man.
He's
He's not human sometimes.
he's
Like,
something.
what the
man.
hell?
He's really really good.
And look at
really
look
good.
at the guys he beat. Look, he beat Swayman and what's his name and Olmark. They had a great
Shesterkin.
year again.
And
Shesterkin again.
No, look,
you know what I mean? Like
they're amazing, and that's what I was going to say. As much of a fan as I am, and as much as I want to see it, like Florida's a powerhouse. They're a freaking
Florida's an
powerhouse.
amazing club.
Yeah.
That's what I think the series is far from over. I think this will go for a
it's
while.
not over.
I
Look,
agree with you.
again, my dad, rest his soul, used to tell me all the time, it's not over till you see the 4 zeros on the clock. Because I used to, I was a kid, I used to bitch. He's like, shut up, and go play.
You know,
the time you're wasting.
a
you
good
know?
example of that is last night the Hershey Bears and Cleveland Monsters. The
What's
Bears
going on
scored
there?
to
Yeah,
go
what's
up a
going on?
goal with 50 seconds left in the game,
Okay.
and they're up 3-2 in the series at this time. and they were going to win the series. With 50 seconds left, they scored.
50 seconds.
But 17 seconds later, they pulled a goal and they scored. They got a goal
Et
against,
voilà.
and
Et
then they
voilà.
lost in overtime. So
And voilà,
it's,
you see?
it's the
It's-
game goes so
crazy.
fast, and it's amazing the stories you see. Like, I'm obviously rooting for the Bears to get Game 7 for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
no kidding.
I wish they ended it before, but it just goes to show, like, these things go so fast in today's day and age. Like, you never really know what's going to happen. That's
Yeah.
the beauty of sports. It's the beauty of
That's
it.
great, man. That's great. So, listen, before we go, I just want to say, so now you're taking the whole summer off. You're staying here. You're gonna chill.
I'm staying in Montreal.
When does training camp start?
Training camp will start early August.
Early
back
August.
In
Then you're back out there,
Yeah.
and you taking your family.
Maybe not right for training camp, but they
Okay.
will come for a small time in the season, just so we
That's
break it
great.
up. Last year,
Of
8 months
course.
was really long.
Yeah,
It was
that's
tough
kinda
for
steep.
myself and everyone, my wife. Everyone was really
That's
hard for
kinda
everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to break it down a little bit and make sure
That's great.
we don't go 8 months. Have a
Yeah,
couple
no
months,
kidding, man.
three
That's-
or so months in the middle where we're all
Yeah,
together. That'd
I
be
know.
great.
Like I said, Mike and I are musicians, and when we were younger, I used to do that, man. I used to leave 10, 11, 12 months at a time.
It's difficult.
I'd come back
for
home,
sure.
eat a plate of spaghetti, leave out, leave again, and it was just hell.
So I have a question for you,
Yeah.
because I'm
Please.
sure everybody's going to be asking, what is this Living SISU all about?
Yeah.
Living SISU. So our goal is all about making sports more accessible. All with the values of SISU. Like I explained, we were
Yeah.
before the
Okay, man.
podcast started. All about inner strength. Guts, grit, determination. Like the inner strength and fuel we go through adversity with. That's SISU. So it's a concept about all that, and in the Finnish culture is very, very prominent, and it's really part of their culture. And so for us, it's all about making sports more accessible and bringing that to the masses. All athletes around the world, around Canada, around like North America, obviously we're going to start small. It's all about, we're launching our product in about October 24, and it's really about bringing all the resources needed to have success in your sport. From performance, recovery, from nutrition to professionals, to
Wow.
traveling to your tournaments.
Everything.
You guys know, like, growing up in sport, it's not just about the stick you use. It's about
No.
your parents driving you to the tournaments. It's about staying at the hotel,
yeah.
eating at the restaurant with your whole group. All these things. We're trying to build a community. We're trying to build a space where being an athlete and being part of Living SISU, you
It's
get
safe.
access to these things. You get access to these things, and you're part of a special group of athletes that have that
That's
access.
awesome.
So we're building a network of partners
great,
now
man.
that's going to help make that possible and
That's great.
make sports more accessible to
That's
the
great.
people.
Well,
part
good
of
luck
Living
with that.
SISU.
Yeah.
Good
you
luck
so
with that,
much.
man. Listen, that was awesome. Thank you for doing this. We really appreciated the three of us. We've been trying to get you on. Last time we kind of messed up a little bit, but
Yeah, it was
we got you-
a difficult time
Don't-
last
good.
time.
Don't
but I'm glad
worry
we,
about
we
it.
Got,
Thank
we
you
got-
so much, Zach. I hope you had a good time because we did. We sure as hell did.
It was
like
great,
I said,
guys. Keep
we're
going. I
just-
love it.
We're just three guys talk hockey, and we love to talk hockey, and we love to talk guys like you.
You
And,
you got a guy that likes to do that too. So
that's
it's,
great,
it's
man.
been
Listen,
great,
I
brother.
promise you, we will do it again. Whatever, a few 6, 7, 8 months after your season's over, whatever, we'll
Sure.
be back.
When
And
you
wish
sign with the Colorado Avalanche, huh? Colorado
Yeah.
Avalanche. Let's go.
give Joe a
We'll
call,
see what
man.
happens.
Give him a call. Give him a call.
I will. I
give him
will.
a
I'll
shot.
give you guys some news on how it goes.
Oh, that would be great.
That's
Zach,
awesome.
thank you so much for doing this, brother. Thank you so
Really
much.
appreciate
Take
it.
care of yourself.
Cheers.
Take care of your family. We'll
Cheers.
talk
Cheers.
soon.
Thanks.
Cheers.